It just takes 2 points to find a line. And then you can figure out where the line crosses the y-intercept. One form of, so there's different forms for the equation of a line. Which ones do you guys know? Go ahead. If you know them, shout them out.
Y equals mx plus b, right?
That's right. Good job.
I was whispering it to myself like, what? But Henry was not reassuring me that I was right. What?
All right. So we have that one. And then we also have one, this one, ax plus by equals c. And then we have this one, y minus some y point equals the slope times x minus some x point. And this is called point slope form.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
It's a pretty handy little form when you're given 2 points. This is called slope intercept form. Because the b represents where that line crosses on the x-axis. And this one is just called general form. Right? So those are the 3 forms that you often see in text. So if I wanted the equation for a line given 2 points, let's just say my points are -1, 2, -2, and 2, 6. First thing I would do is find my slope. So I would go 6 minus a -2 divided by 2 minus a -1, which would be 8/3. So 8/3. There's my slope. And then for my line, I'd go y minus my y part, doesn't matter which one I choose, equals 8/3 times x minus, I do have to use the same one that I chose for the first one, 2. Okay? So this would be the equation for my line. Now if I wanted to move from form to form, so this is point slope form, then if I want to move from form to form, I would just distribute the 8/3 and then add 6 to both sides. So y equals 8/3 x. Now this 6 is also known by its street name 18/3. Same common denominator. -16 plus 18 is 2. So this is plus 2/3. All right. So here's my slope, 8/3. My y-intercept is 2/3, and this is slope-intercept form. If I want to go to general form, I multiply everything by 3. And then I can just move the 8 over, or the 3y over, and end up with 8x minus 3y equals a -2. Yeah, move that over, keep that positive. So that would be our general form. All right.
You can do that the other way too, where the 3y minus 8x equals 2.
You could. Typically, in general form, they want your x to come first, and they want the coefficient in front to be positive. So it would be better if you did the x first. Yes.
You normally want it read in alphabetical, so you always put
Yeah.
the one higher in the alphabet first, right?
Right, so x, then y. Typically. It's not a fast and hard rule, it's just kind of a typical rule of thumb. If you have a horizontal equation, it's going to be y equals whatever number it goes through in the y-axis. So this would be your equation for a horizontal line. Notice how this is consistent. Y equals mx plus b, but our m is 0 in a horizontal line. So this is 0 plus b, so it's just y equals b. Okay. So horizontal line is just y equals b. Likewise, a vertical line is just x equals whatever number you're going through on the vertical line. X is always a, or whatever number you're going through gives you a vertical line. All right. All right, what do we know about slopes of parallel lines? Two lines are parallel. If what?
If the slope's the same.
If, right, M1 equals M2. Right. What do we know about perpendicular lines?
The slope is the reciprocal.
Not just the reciprocal, but the opposite reciprocal. Two lines are perpendicular if and only if. If and only if means it works both ways. Oh, this upside down T is the symbol that we use for perpendicular. Right? So that's a perpendicular symbol. Right, so if and only if M1 times M2 equals -1. If you multiply the two things together and you get -1, or equivalently, M2 is the reciprocal of M1, but the opposite sign, opposite reciprocal. So a super common problem that you'll see. You're looking for the equation of a line parallel to this line, passing through this point. So the first thing you need to do is find the slope of this line. So I think the easiest way to do this is to just solve for y. So if I move y over here and 1 over here, so take a minute and make sure that you buy that that's true. So then I can just read it off my form. The slope is 2. Since I'm looking for a parallel line, I need a slope of 2 that goes with this point. So I'm going to use my point slope form. Y minus my y point equals 2 times x minus my x point. Now, a lot of times that answer will work just fine. You don't even have to fix it. You don't even have to simplify it. But if you want to, you would distribute the 2, subtract the 3 from both sides, and you get y equals 2x minus 7. So if you think of what's going on here graphically, we have a line right here that crosses at -1 and goes. Then you're going to go up to 1, 2 over 1, that's my slope, up 2 over 1, that's my slope, and this would be one line right here. This line would go down to -7. And go up 2 over 1, and would be another line here, completely parallel, never touching. All right, so there you have it. The lines, this line right here was the line that I started with. It intercepts at -1, so I went down to -1. My slope was 2, so I went up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. This line over here was the parallel line that I just found. It also has a slope of 2, but it starts at -7. So I go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and so on.
We did this last year.
Yes.
We should have done this.
All right.
One, I think.
Yes.
That's a lot of math for, you could just write that the y understood.
We have this last problem to do before I set you free on your practice problems. So it says they want you to find a perpendicular line, so that's the symbol for a perpendicular, to this line through this point. So we're in a line that's perpendicular to this line through that point. I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to put this into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to have 3y equals negative 2x plus 1. I move the 2x over, and I move the 1 over. And now I'm going to divide by 3. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1/3. So my opposite reciprocal slope, so if this slope M1 is negative 2/3, my perpendicular slope M2 is going to be 3/2. So you notice I made the negative into a positive and I flipped the fraction over. Now I use this new slope with this point, and I say y minus my y point equals slope times x minus my x point. And I multiply this through. Y plus 1 equals 3/2 x minus 12/2. Y plus 1 equals 3/2 x minus 6. 12 divided by 2. Subtract the 1 from both sides. Y equals 3/2 x minus 7. And that would be the answer to my perpendicular line through that point. We can real quick show you what that looks like on Desmos.